You've felt it, haven't you? That tiny tremor in your gut, the one that whispers, something isn't right here. It happens when someone's words feel less like communication and more like carefully laid traps. They're smiling, their eyes seem sincere, but your internal alarm bells are screaming. It's not paranoia. It's your primal instinct sensing a predator in human skin. And here's the unsettling truth. These predators, these master manipulators and habitual deceivers, don't just lie with their statements. They lie with their questions. Yes, they wield questions like weapons, designed to disarm you, to twist your perception, and ultimately to make you question your own sanity. They're subtle, insidious, and incredibly effective at derailing your truth. In this video, we're going to dissect the 5 most treacherous questions liars consistently deploy. We're not just identifying them. We're arming you with the knowledge to recognize them instantly, dismantle their tactics, and reclaim your power. Because once you understand their playbook, their entire performance crumbles. This isn't about becoming cynical. It's about becoming clairvoyant in a world full of smoke and mirrors. Question 1. Why are you being so dramatic? This is the classic, the go-to maneuver for anyone caught red-handed. You've uncovered their deception, perhaps a subtle betrayal or an outright fabrication, and instead of taking responsibility, they flip the script. They try to paint you as the irrational one, the emotional wreck, the one who's overreacting. It's a masterful deflection. Think about it. You present evidence, you express your genuine hurt or frustration, and their immediate response isn't an explanation or an apology. It's an accusation aimed directly at your emotional state. They're not denying what they did. They're attempting to invalidate your feelings about what they did. This question is a subtle form of gaslighting, where they aim to make you doubt your own perception of reality. When a liar asks, "Why are you being so dramatic?" they're effectively saying, "Your reaction is the problem, not my action." They want you to get tangled in defending your emotional response, diverting all attention from their transgression. The moment you start justifying your feelings, "I'm not being dramatic, I'm just upset because you lied," you've stepped into their arena. You've shifted the focus from their accountability to your emotional performance. They use this to escape consequences. If they can convince you, or even just sow enough doubt, that your feelings are excessive, then their actions seem less severe, even justifiable. They want to rewrite the narrative where you're the unstable protagonist and they're the innocent victim of your overblown emotions. Recognize this question for what it is: a desperate attempt to avoid accountability by attacking your emotional validity. Don't take the bait. Your feelings are valid, especially when responding to deceit. Question 2. Do you even trust me? This is the emotional nuclear option. When you corner a liar, when their web of deceit starts to unravel, they often resort to this highly manipulative tactic. You've presented facts, pointed out inconsistencies, or expressed your growing distrust based on their behavior, and their immediate counter isn't to clarify or confess. It's to throw this emotional grenade back at you. Wow, after all we've been through, do you even trust me? This isn't a genuine plea for reassurance. This is emotional blackmail, cloaked in a guise of vulnerability. They're trying to make you feel guilty for their own deceit. By asking if you trust them, they pivot the discussion from their actions to your loyalty. Suddenly, you're not scrutinizing their honesty. You're on trial for your lack of faith. This question is designed to invoke immediate guilt and shame. It puts you in an impossible bind. If you say no, you're the bad guy who doesn't trust. If you say yes, you're implicitly excusing their behavior and giving them a free pass. It forces you to defend your trust, rather than them having to earn it. Understand this fundamental truth. Trustworthy people don't need to ask if you trust them. Their actions, their consistency, their integrity, and their honesty speak for themselves. When someone constantly needs verbal affirmation of your trust, especially in moments where their trustworthiness is demonstrably in question, it's a massive red flag. They're not seeking understanding. They're seeking absolution without confession. They want the benefit of your trust without the responsibility of being trustworthy. Don't let them weaponize your empathy against you. Question 3. So, what do you want me to say? This question, delivered with a sigh, a shrug, or even feigned exasperation, is one of the most passive-aggressive tools in a liar's arsenal. You've presented your case, laid out the evidence of their dishonesty, and instead of a direct response, they offer this. It's a calculated move to shift the burden of their confession onto you. They're playing dumb, pretending they're so confused or overwhelmed by your accusations that they can't possibly formulate a response. But what they're really doing is subtly hinting, I'm guilty, but I want you to give me the script for my apology so I don't have to actually feel or admit anything. They want you to provide the words, the excuse, the path to their easy escape. This question reveals a profound lack of genuine remorse. A truly sorry person doesn't need prompting to express regret or take responsibility. They don't wait for you to feed them lines. They offer an unprompted, sincere admission. When a liar asks, "So what do you want me to say?" they're essentially trying to outsource their accountability. They want to avoid the discomfort of crafting a sincere apology or explanation, preferring to parrot whatever convenient words you might suggest. This is a tactic to manipulate your desire for resolution. They know you want an apology, a confession, an acknowledgement of their wrongdoing. By asking you to dictate it, they can then claim, "See, I said what you wanted. Now are you happy?" without ever truly internalizing their fault. Never write their apology for them. Demand authentic accountability, not a performance of remorse dictated by your pain. Question 4. Can we just move on already? Liars despise discomfort. They dread being held under scrutiny, especially when their narrative begins to crack. So, when a confrontation extends beyond their comfort zone, when the truth looms too close, they deploy the move on card. It's their desperate attempt to prematurely end the conversation, to escape the spotlight of their deception. Look, this is exhausting. Can we just move on already? This isn't a plea for peace. It's a demand for premature closure without accountability. They want to sweep their misdeeds under the rug, hoping that by rushing past it, the consequences will simply vanish. They conflate moving on with forgetting or forgiving, without any of the necessary steps in between. True healing and genuine moving on require processing, understanding, and often accountability. A liar's "let's just move on" bypasses all of this. They seek a shortcut to peace without having to navigate the difficult terrain of confession, remorse, or restitution. They want the comfort of a resolved situation without the discomfort of facing their actions. This tactic preys on your desire for harmony and your potential aversion to prolonged conflict. Don't confuse a liar's desire for convenience with a genuine intention to heal. Skipping accountability isn't moving on, it's enabling further deception. True progress comes after facing the truth, not by pretending it doesn't exist. You are not a human doormat designed for their convenience. Question 5. Are you really going to throw everything away over this? This is the emotional nuclear bomb, often deployed when a liar feels their carefully constructed world crumbling around them. Faced with undeniable truth and your unwavering demand for accountability, they resort to fear-mongering and guilt-tripping. They attempt to frame your justified reaction to their deceit as an over-the-top, relationship-destroying act. After everything we've been through, are you really going to throw it all away over this one thing? They may say this with feigned sadness, a shaky voice, or even tears. The implication is clear. You are the one jeopardizing the relationship, the friendship, the partnership, not their lie. They portray themselves as the victim of your unreasonable standards, rather than the perpetrator of a broken trust. This question is a desperate attempt to manipulate your sense of loyalty and your fear of loss. They want you to weigh their single mistake against the entire history you share, hoping you'll back down to preserve the past. But here's the critical insight. True integrity is not about a single lie, but about the pattern of dishonesty. If this one thing is part of a larger pattern, then what you're actually throwing away is your self-respect and peace of mind by tolerating ongoing deceit. They want you to feel immense guilt for upholding your boundaries. They want you to believe that your pursuit of truth is selfish and destructive. But remember, if the cost of maintaining a relationship is consistently compromising your truth and tolerating betrayal, then that price is far too high. This question is a final, desperate play for control, a last-ditch effort to make you question your boundaries and your worth. Don't fall for it. Your peace is priceless. So, there you have it. The 5 manipulative questions liars arm themselves with. They don't ask to understand, they ask to undermine. They don't seek clarity, they seek control over the narrative. Their goal isn't truth, but power over your perception of it. But now, you're armed. You're not just a player in their game anymore. You're the referee, with a whistle and a red card ready. The next time someone tries to disarm you with a, "Why are you being so dramatic?" or attempts to guilt trip you with, "Do you even trust me?" you'll see the manipulation for what it is, and you'll have the power to protect your peace, your sanity, and your truth. Because once you recognize the playbook, you stop being the target and start being the strategist. You call the fouls, you eject the players, and you protect your peace like it's the most valuable treasure you possess, because it truly is. If this insight resonated with you, if you're tired of navigating a world where honesty often feels like a foreign concept, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's unravel the complexities of human behavior together. Also, if this video brought you clarity or empowered you in any way, please consider giving it a like. It helps us reach more people who need to hear these truths. And for those of you who've been asking, I know my last video, Every ADHD Symptom Explained, really resonated with many of you. It's so important to understand the nuances of our minds and how they work, just as it's crucial to understand the subtle patterns of deception in others. Tell me in the comments, which of these questions have you encountered the most in your life, and how did you respond? Your experiences help others learn and grow. Thank you for watching, and remember, clarity is your superpower.